as you get ready to watch the new Black Adam movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as you get ready to see him sit strong, bold, confident on that throne. Did you know he was not always strong, bold, or even confident in himself? Let me ask you, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? We all know who Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is, widely known as a former WWE pro wrestler and one of Hollywood's toughest and highest paid actors. Someone like him stands next to megastars such as Robert Downey Jr., Tom Cruise, Will Smith. But when you dig deeper into his backstory, I'll tell you, what you see in shallow waters does not always show you the complete picture, especially on how he came to be. Dwayne opened up about his battle with uncertainty and depression. Yep, the man we see on the billboards, on the tabloids, on countless magazine covers, is a man whose past was filled with struggle. From being evicted to a world icon, from depression to success, from just $7 in his pocket to millions in fortune. How did he manage to overcome it? Well, you don't want to miss today's story, and make sure you stick to the end. Today, you're going to pick up on how Dwayne managed to fight the battle, not as a wrestler, but as a simple human being. Welcome to Untapping Your Potential, where we will share with you motivational stories that will keep you growing and inspire you to take action. Dwayne Johnson spent most of his childhood moving between California and New Zealand. He was an only child and spent most of his time in solitude. Although born into a wrestling family with wrestling in his blood, he was never interested in the sport. When he was 14, Dwayne's family moved to Honolulu as his father, renowned Rocky Johnson, worked for the WWF at the time and other wrestling circuits. Despite his father's success in the ring, the family's financial security was far from certain. We were living in an efficiency that cost $120 a week. We come home and there's a padlock on the door and an eviction notice. My mom just started crying and breaking down. Where are we going to live? What are we going to do? With poverty just around the corner, Dwayne didn't know what else to do. It was at this time that Dwayne came face to face to the most traumatic experience of his life. His mother attempted suicide. My dad was wrestling in Nashville, Tennessee, and my mom, she tried to check out when I was 15. She got out of the car on Interstate 65 in Nashville and walked into oncoming traffic. Big rigs and cars swerving out of the way not to hit her. I grabbed her and pulled her back on the gravel shoulder of the road. What's crazy about the suicide attempt is to this day, she has no recollection of it whatsoever. Probably best she doesn't. Everything came crashing down for him. His well-being worsened when he wasn't able to make the cut for his school's football team due to an injury. And football at the time was the only sport he was truly passionate about. Not his family's tied legacy of wrestling, but football. It meant everything to him. I didn't know what it was. I didn't want to do a thing. I didn't want to go anywhere. I was crying constantly. And eventually you reach a point where you're all cried out. Depression never discriminates. It took me a long time to realize it, but the key is not to be afraid, to open up, especially as men. We have the tendency to keep it in. I found that with depression, one of the most important things you can realize is that you're not alone. You're not the first to go through it, and you're not going to be the last one to go through it. He resorted to robbery to make ends meet, a fact that his family never knew about it, until Dwayne was sent in police detention at the age of 15. In Waikiki, there's a couple high-end blocks where there's your Prada, Chanel, Gucci, Armani jewelry stores, plenty of jewelry stores. There are a lot of tourists that come into Waikiki, and there's a lot of money and a lot of foreign money that comes in, and we're a part of the theft ring. And we would target those groups. We would target the money, we would target the high-end clothes, and we would target the jewelry. Turn around and sell it as best we could. It was during his time in detention that Dwayne realized that one of the few things he could influence in the world that didn't require financial resources was how he handled himself. The question was, what can I control with these two hands? All I could do was train and build my body. men who built their bodies were the most successful men I knew. Dwayne wanted to turn a new leaf in his life, and so he did. I only had $7 in my pocket, and I always tell that story. So now my production company, $7, advertising agency, $7. Everything is $7. I always remember that. After his fallout with his football, he decided to enter the professional wrestling business with almost nothing. When Dwayne broke the news of his change of heart with his father said, "You're throwing it all away. It is the worst mistake you'll ever make. You're ruining your career." "I don't have anything, and I don't want that for you. So maybe I'll be no good," Dwayne replied. "But I feel like in my heart I have to do this." Entering the world of professional wrestling was where Dwayne got his nickname, The Rock. The Rock became the hottest deal in his company, and things were on fire. If you're going through hard times, you gotta hold on to that fundamental quality of faith and hard work. Because on the other side of those hard times is something better, is a better life. When I was at the height of my career in the WWE, I felt that for the very first time, I was close to accomplishing everything that I wanted to accomplish in wrestling, and quietly walked away. His wrestling career was short-lived, and The Rock became Dwayne again, and he pursued a career in Hollywood. Kind of shook me a little bit, because wrestling was all I knew at the time, and I had dabbed in acting, but yet I also felt that I wanted to do more, and I wanted to achieve more, and I wanted to grow. I wanted to grow as a person. I wanted to grow as an entertainer, and that I wanted to reach as many people as possible. Not for the box office value of it, but for the connection. I had come from a world where I was connecting with an audience every night, and I wanted that connection. I wanted to not only be good as an actor, but if I made the transition into acting, I wanted to be great. Fast forward almost 3 decades later, Dwayne has become a wrestling icon. Not only that, he is also one of Hollywood's famous superstars. Dwayne Johnson's net worth is estimated to be $400 million. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's tale is just magnificent. From the youngster who cried his heart out in his small apartment due to sadness to the man who continues to inspire millions across the world. One of the keys is to remember where you came from. Keep that in the front of your mind. And when things go bad, and it goes sideways like a lot of things does, you're getting booed out of the building or coming through this injury or people are writing you off, you got it. You gotta keep it in here. It really has to. It should drive you. For years, Dwayne has constantly been backed up against a wall. And in that kind of situation, there's nowhere you can go. You're trapped. Let's face it, if you've been through something similar before, you've been stuck somehow, somewhere, someplace, and most probably you didn't even know how to free yourself. Could have been in the past, or maybe somewhere in the far future. Or even right at this very moment, you're at a dead end. But you see, Dwayne could not have pursued in wrestling after his father told him not. He could have returned back to robbing people in the streets instead of changing himself. He could have given up. There were many opportunities where he could, but he didn't. Just because things seem difficult doesn't mean that they're impossible to get through. Life's a battle to the fittest. And I'll let you in on the secret to survive. You need to be relentless. You don't have to be the smartest one, the most dynamic one, or even the most charismatic one. Rather, be relentless. And when you do, when you stay in a game long enough to win it, you will acquire patience, the ability to wait longer than others, to learn more, and ultimately become consistent. As Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson once said, success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work gains success. Thanks for watching this video. How would you like to hear more motivational stories on a consistent basis? Do me a favor. Support the channel by sharing, commenting below, and please make sure to like and hit that subscribe button to get the latest update. Soon, you will be on your way to feeling inspired.